Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Gate Ruler video. Wasn't expecting to make this one. If you've been on Twitter at all or in my Discord linked in the description over the last 24-48 hours or so, you'll have seen some crazy shit has been happening. And on the surface, you might think it's bad, but I'm basically here to explain the situation as of this moment and say why I think this is actually probably really good, as awful as it is to say, because I do feel really bad for Ikeda here. But I'm going to start by basically giving you the background of the situation, explaining the situation, and then explaining why I think it's a good thing overall. Let's get started. So this was posted earlier today. Report on apology and disposal of inappropriate remarks by on SNS by our development staff. So you can go on the website and you can read this full article for yourself, but I'll just highlight the main things. Basically, the main developer, Ikeda, said some shit on Discord Izakaya. Did he say anything that bad? I don't know. I don't think it was that bad, right? Like, he wasn't, like, you know, anything super bad like transphobic or racist or any of that stuff. It really, like, it was just he called someone out who he felt was being rude. The problem isn't so much like what he said. The problem is the fact that he is a person who is like in a management position on this game, and he didn't act in a professional manner regarding the game, and that's the problem really. So you know, it says basically cannot be overlooked bias. You can read this on screen. Here's the thing you need to know. Here's what matters. Okay, basically the senior management have resigned, and Ikeda has been dismissed entirely. You can go onto his Twitter. I probably should have pulled that up actually, but you can go onto his Twitter and you can see that it is it no longer lists project developer, project manager. It just says original concept creator. He has left the official Gate Ruler Discord server. The Gate Ruler account has unfollowed him. He has unfollowed the Gate Ruler account. Like, they are done with each other. What does this mean for the future of the game? Firstly, let me just bring up this article. This is absolutely not the final article they'll be posting regarding the future of the game. It is my understanding that there was going to be some announcements on Friday that were going to be quite exciting. That have since been delayed until at least next week, I imagine. Don't know when they'll go up, because this Friday they're going to be giving a more detailed statement, I think. But anyway, here's what basically set 3 is still happening. It's been developed, like of course they're going to do it. Set 4 has been starting to be designed. They are going to do set 4. So set 4 will be happening. All the really cool looking hero stuff, all that which we kind of all knew was hopefully going to be a big push for the game. And they said they will develop products, thereafter shifting to new system. I assume that means a new team. So bare minimum, we're getting to set 5. So like at bare minimum, the game is going to go for a full year. We will see how it goes. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the game in Japan is very much on life support because it will be 7 months between set 2 and set 3. And I think, whilst I think that was the correct decision, I'll go into this a little bit more, but it's obviously not ideal. But the point is that Ikeda's gone, they're going to be handling it from now on. What do we need to know? What is the background? How the hell did this happen at all? The guy created the game. Well, the things to keep in mind for some background is this all started, really, the situation, back in, I think, December. So this was posted, in January. So basically, Bushiroad sued him for breaking an NDA. Absolutely justified. Bushiroad should have sued him. It was pretty transparently a move to, like, damage Gate Ruler, because this is stuff that happened literally years ago that they decided to file for right as his new game was coming out. So, like, okay, Bushiroad, sure, very clever. It did the job. It absolutely did the job. It, you know, it damaged the reputation of the game, did whatever Bushiroad wanted to do. Well done, guys. Why don't you fix your fucking game instead of sabotaging other ones, and then people will just play your game, you know? Do that. But anyway, besides the point, yeah, they sued him. So that led to Ikeda stepping down as the CEO of Dayu, the company that he had set up. Okay, so he stepped down from Dayu, but he's still working, he's still a contractor, but there's someone else in charge. And that's basically what happened. There were several bad PR incidents over the last few months involving Ikeda. There was an interview with Hobby Watch, I believe it's called, where he said some controversial things that, got Gate Ruler trending, which obviously you don't really want trending for that reason. He's basically just been a figure that is really only done harm to the brand of Gate Ruler by being involved publicly, right? Like, if he was just totally behind the scenes and he didn't say anything and he never talked about it, like, on any of his public platforms, if he wasn't so outspoken, then he would still be around, for sure. Because basically all of these PR incidents, this Discord thing, like, it was not a big deal. It's the straw that broke the camel's back and just led to his complete dismissal. So, why do I think this is a good thing? Well, I want to evaluate some of the promises that Ikeda gave at the start when he was handling card design. And let me just say, from a game design perspective, Gate Ruler is phenomenal, right? Like, on a fundamental level, the way in which the game is designed, rather like coding, the like sort of building blocks there to expand upon are incredible. The ruler system is outstanding. I love the damage system. I love overdrive, like all that sort of stuff. The counter system I think is really good. I am a big fan of all of the actual systems that are in place, right? So I don't think there's an issue there. The issue for me comes with the card design and with the promises. There were two big promises. The first was the dynamic between apprentice and knight. In my mind, there are two big promises. There are a lot of promises that were made. I'm sure I could dig them up, but it would require like going, a year down into his Twitter, and like this was during the period when like there was nothing really known about the game. So anyway, the two big things. Firstly, it was said that a good knight player should be seeing a 60 to 70% win rate against an apprentice player, kind of no matter what. The idea was apprentice was much easier to play, but once you became skilled with knight, you should be winning 60 to 70% of the time. There should be enough of a chance for the apprentice player to win that they still want to play, you still want to have some fun, but knight should be winning most of the time. The second promise was if anything happened in terms of game balance, especially ruler balance, because all of the deck construction rules are literally online. You literally go here to rule, and you go to the rules here. This is the Japanese website, of course, so I'm saying from the Japanese perspective. For the English perspective, this changes like basically nothing. If you go to the ruler rules here, sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. You go to the ruler rules, the thing to keep, like you just see here, like I click on apprentice, for example, and like, okay, so I have all the details here, all the construction, all this stuff. So the idea is because it's not printed on a physical card, like outside of the stats and like the fundamental rules, like the fundamental rules probably wouldn't change for a ruler. The stats probably wouldn't, because you can do all the balancing in the deck construction, right? I don't give a shit if apprentice has 12 life, 4 attack, 3 strike. If, for example, it has like 0 legends, or it has like a level limit of 30, right? Like those would be crazy nerfs that would kind of, make the deck unplayable, right? But anyway, the idea is you could do all that balancing behind the scenes on this, so you would never really have to deal with these ruler card erratas, and you'd be able to be really quick and mobile because it's completely online. You can just make a change if there is something that slipped through development. All sounds fantastic in theory. However, Ikeda did not have a fantastic precedent for card design to begin with. If we go back to his days in Future Card Buddy Fight, as obviously discussed in this article, he worked on that game until the middle of 100. Well, he managed to break that game 3 times during his tenure, at least. It depends how broken you considered it, but as someone who played from launch, let me tell you, these are the 3 big ones, okay? The first one is Dungeon World. Dungeon World as a whole, and that was in Drum's Adventures. This whole set completely destroyed the entire meta. Dungeon World, Dungeon Mix was tier 0, unbeatable. Set 4 did nothing. Like, it was just Dungeon. Set 5 didn't really do anything either. Like, it was Dungeon. Dungeon was the only deck. Well, Set 5 did do something, but meta-wise, like, the deck that was even more broken than Dungeon, no one played because it was super boring and barely anyone knew about it. The game was so young, but besides the point, Dungeon was obviously completely cracked, right? So he breaks it the first time, Set 3, okay? It's already broken, right? Set 5, we get Actonite's Judgment. You basically built a whole deck around this guy, and this was back when, your resources were really limited. So a guy who said draw 2, pop 2, and then heal 3 was ridiculous. ridiculous, especially if you could just spam him. This was like super easy to do. This whole deck was built around this concept. So this deck was absolutely broken, like by far more broken than Dungeon, like just genuinely like crazy. No one played it because it was really, really boring and not many people knew about it, but it existed and I assure you it was completely broken. And then, also during his tenure in 100 was Kaiserion, which was even more broken, absolutely unbeatable. Like, even if you hard built decks just to counter it, you still couldn't really beat it very well. And it was the point that we got our first ever silver bullet in Barbed Wire just to deal with this card, right? So the point is, from those examples, the guy does not have a fantastic track record with card design. Game design, I will say, again, Buddy Fight, fundamental rules, really, really good. Same with Gate Ruler. There's a foundation there that is rock solid and very, very, viable. Which is why I'm not sitting here like saying I'm quitting Gate Ruler, because I'm not. Because I think this is a good thing. Because now we have someone else in charge. Because let's see what Ikeda has done under his tenure as lead card designer. Well, we got set 1. And set 1 was fun. Set 1 was really fun, but it was also too balanced. It felt very, very 50-50. It felt very luck-based, and it didn't feel like Knight was being rewarded over Apprentice. It felt like I just play Red Pink Apprentice, and, cool, I'm going to win, probably. Or if I lose, you've worked really hard for it, and I probably just average rolled, right? Like, fine. But, you can give the guy a pass for set 1 to an extent, because he did say set 2 is when it's really going to start going, set 3 is when it's really... Set 2, 1 and 2 are like more simple, set 3 is when it's really going to start going, I have the plan, and we're all like, okay, alright, fine. We'll allow you, at the moment the game was fun, casual, no hyper-competitive or anything, it's fine, we can forgive you for set 1. But set 2... releases, and in Japan it was really bad. Here it's nowhere near as bad because we don't have Space Cave, and in Europe we don't have Flying Spaghetti Monster or Scoob at the moment. What are those cards? I won't talk about Space Cave for now, but let me just talk about the cards that, Darumageddon. This card clearly was not tested at all. There is, they claim, oh yeah, we tested this. I do not believe this was tested whatsoever. There is no way they tested Darumageddon and Magatsu together in the same deck and thought, yes, this is fair. There is no way they put in that much testing time and did not discover the broken Darumageddon combo. I don't understand. And this, by the way, this would have been very easy to fix. All they had to do, because this card was clearly intended for Berserker, is just add, a thing that says, you cannot, this effect only activates if you have one card or less on the field. Or this effect only activates if you are Berserker. Or, there are ways to manage this card. Or you could nerf its stats, for example. Make it, 1 strike and, 2 HP, so it's really easy to remove, right? There are absolutely ways to manage this card to make it a lot less crazy, a lot fairer. None of which were taken, right? On top of that, you also had Schrödinger Cat out of the box. Oh, God, you can see the background there. This is very professional, don't worry. You can see this card. This is just Flying Spaghetti Monster. This card is absolutely balked. We all know this. And this is a card that existed in the format in Japan that added to the absolute prevalence of Darumageddon, right? So we had issues there, right, in terms of game balance immediately that completely swung the meta into Apprentice's favour. Now, you would think now is a time for Ikeda to make good on his promises, where Knight really is meant to be the one wizard in these energy decks, and do something about Apprentice. Radio fucking silence. Nothing at all. In fact, this man was tweeting about how good metas were, he was retweeting specific tournaments where they did a night only tournament, right? Which is what are you fucking doing, bro? On top of that, we had issues with the starter decks. So here is Space Cave. This card is the main card we did not get in English at the moment, Space Cave, which is absolutely the biggest thing stopping Daruma from just being tier 0. Losing this card makes Daruma fair, right? We can manage Daruma without this card. And then, of course, there was the issues with the zombie deck, where they just fucking did the maths wrong. And, of course, with the dragon deck, there were the issues with Golden Sword. So there were a lot of problems and a lot of things where, Ikeda had made promises about, oh, yeah, you only need to buy 1 starter deck, and you'll be fine. 2 if you want to play set, but 1 should be enough. Then they included a 1-of. Okay. Then he also said the zombie starter deck would be competitive out of 2. It's fine with 2 starter decks, but it's tier 2. It is absolutely not competitive. Even adding in whatever legends you want, right? It absolutely is not competitive by any stretch of the imagination with the rulers in the box, right? That's just, not true. So you have like all of these like, you know, broken promises, right? Like apprentices, like knights should be winning more than apprentice. We'll be able to just change like the ruler construction on the fly if the game balance is bad. Nothing's been done. All the issues with the starter decks, you know, and and then you add in all the PR stuff on top of that. I think Ikeda's tenure as actually managing the game, like Ikeda, everything up to the game's release, great, sure. You know, dude, I really respect the work he did on the game. I really enjoy the game. I think fundamentally it's fantastic. However, from a card design perspective and a PR perspective, he needed to fucking go. And, you know, I hate saying that because it's his game. And he was very ride or die. Like, I genuinely believe, like, as long as there was, like, 3 people playing this game, like enough people to simply justify the cost of production, he would have barely paid himself a salary. He doesn't need the money. He would have just done it for the love of it. I genuinely believe like he would have kept this game going as long as humanly possible. Even like he would have kept it on life support for like 5 years. I genuinely believe he would have. However, he is also the reason it would have ended up on life support for 5 years at the end of the day, and that is really shit. So, you know, what's the point here? What am I saying? I've given you all this background. I've explained the situation, all the broken promises. He's gone. We've got all this new stuff. Why am I still interested in Gate Ruler? Well, let me tell you why. If you go over onto the official website and you click on columns here, and you go over to it's right here. Oh, maybe it was in. Oh, sorry, it was in news. I'm so professional. I'm just one taking this, so yeah. We'll go on notice rather, and we go on to Overlord. This is why. This ruler is why I completely have 100% faith that this game is salvageable because the foundation is so strong. I was playing Overlord games today, and good God, this literally changes everything. Like this ruler completely revitalizes every single energy card from the last 2 sets, completely changes the entire format. We haven't even begun scratching the surface of what Overlord is going to do to the metagame. People are just playing Darkness because it's obviously strong, right? But there are so many like potential constructions here with Overlord, and this is one of 3 rulers we're getting in set 3, and if they're all this game changing, they're all this redefining for the previous card pool, and then you add in the set 3 card pool on top of that with all the other stuff. And you know, you check out my video on set 3, card in the top right hand corner, where I discuss how I think it's also going to be designed to specifically benefit like energy decks. Like it very much feels like the fundamental mechanics being included in the set benefit energy decks more than Apprentice. It's all very, very good for me. It sounds very, very good. So basically, you know, it's all that, right? So like this basically gives me confidence in the fundamentals of the game, the fact that it's going to be good, it's going to be fun, it's going to be enjoyable, all this sort of stuff. What gives me confidence that people are going to play it? Reading Twitter this morning. The amount of people I saw saying, now that Ikeda is gone, this is Japan, now that Ikeda is gone, I'm going to play the game. I saw English players being like, Ikeda is gone, okay, I'm going to give this game a look. There was a couple, but like Japanese overwhelmingly, like this is, you know, to the point where it's just sort of like, I mean, I feel bad for Ikeda, but good God, like if this is the response, like this is the response to your lead designer leaving the game, he should have probably gone sooner. I just can't help but think, like, as sad as it is, it's a net positive. I just have to say that I feel like it's a net positive. I'm glad that it happened on balance. I think that this is going to be really a new start here. I think set 3 is going to be really fun. I'm really excited. And set 4 is going to be the clean slate, you know, new design team. Set 3's done. Ikeda did set 3. And I gotta assume that by delaying it 4 months, he really put some fucking effort into testing and making sure it wasn't broken. And even if there are broken things, I gotta assume the new design team will be proactive in changes. I hope that, I mean, I'm hopeful that there will be changes even before then. It would be nice to see like a Knight buff or an Apprentice nerf like now. You know, will that come? Who knows? We'll see. But I'm very hopeful that even, like, whatever happens with set 3, the new team will be proactive. They will do things, because I've got to assume it was Ikeda's stubbornness and him just going, no, it's fine. You know, they just haven't figured it out why they didn't change anything. Because anyone, like, you change a number. Like, you go into Apprentice on the website, you change 50 level limit to 40 level limit, and suddenly the deck is fair. Like, it's, you know, mind-boggling how easy it would have been to, like, make that deck weaker. So yeah, the point is, I think I'm hopeful for the new team. I think there's not really going to be any more bad PR incidents unless the new team does them, and I got to assume these guys will do everything they can to be player friendly, because guys, do not fuck this up. You've got a new opportunity here. You've got all eyes on the game. You've got players who will be interested in, because Ikeda's gone. You've got players who are supporting the game even through all this turmoil. Do not let these people down. Do not let me down. Please make this game fun. Be proactive. Don't fuck about. I'm very hopeful. I'm still excited about Gate Ruler. I still think it's the most fundamentally interesting game on the market, and I'm hopeful that it will become the best game on the market. Set 3 is going to be worldwide release. I'm really excited for that. It's so nice to have that again. I'll be able to play like remote with Japanese players and stuff. We'll be able to actually have the same card pool. It's going to be really exciting. So please do subscribe to the channel if you're interested in that. Like the video. Let me know your thoughts on the situation in the comment section down below. As I said, and I will reiterate, and I'm gonna like title and all this sort of stuff, I am overwhelmingly positive about this decision. I think this was a good decision. As awful as that is to say, and again, I feel really bad for Ikeda, it is a situation entirely of his own making. I feel bad for him, I have empathy for him, but I don't have sympathy for him, because it was entirely his fault. There we go, that's it. Thanks for watching. Back to more normal like videos. I think I've got some fun discussions, some deck profiles and such, more box openings coming up in the upcoming weeks, so please do stick around for those, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.